Figure by the end of the day, no matter who you are, you've done a lot of bending forward over your devices. So we can all use a bit of that shoulder neck work. And I'm going to have you start lying down tonight. In Sukasana, so because it's lying down, it's actually Supta Sukhasana, but we always begin in, not always, but seated cross-legged position, which is Sukasana. So now you're coming into Supta Sukhasana, which is a lying down cross-legged position. And it's really interesting how this pose feels quite different from when you're sitting upright. So if it's too much of a stretch, then take Supta Baddha, soles of the feet together. And even if you find that after a period of time, it's too much of a stretch, so you start out here and then it gets aggravating for the hips or the knees, then come out of it. If you find that you're making a face in this or any pose, then you're straining and come out of the pose. So Supta Sukhasana, we're beginning, try to make a fairly tight cross-legged position of the feet, so not wide unless you're in soles of the feet together, but stepping the knees in as close as possible. And you could just bring the hands to rest on the belly. Release the elbows towards the floor. Broaden across the collarbones, allow the backs of the shoulders to release. And begin to tune into your breath or your body, whichever one is easier to capture your attention or more easily captures your awareness. Starting in this lying down position tends to have an impact on the practice. It slows things down right off the bat. And you can feel that as soon as you come to lying, the breath begins to settle and gravity draws the torso down towards the floor. It's a little bit easier to soften, close the eyes, and bring your awareness inwards. With your hands resting on the belly, put a little bit of pressure there. Not a huge amount, but just a little bit, say 10% of your effort. A little bit of pressure drawing the navel towards the spine. Notice how this impacts the rest of the spine as well as hips and maybe even shoulders. We close the eyes because it's a little bit easier to observe those things. Fewer distractions. So you have that inward awareness. Start some deep belly breathing. So pull the breath down towards the lower belly. As you inhale, feel the belly rise upwards into your hands. And as you exhale, feel that 10% weight of the hands drawing the belly towards the spine, and empty out the lungs fully. At the very end of that exhale, maybe you notice the weight of your hands. And then inhale, feel the belly rising upwards into the hands. Try to expand the rib cage outwards to the sides, not up towards the ceiling. And at the top of your inhale, feel the collarbones widen, the backs of the shoulders drop down. Exhale, feel the weight of your torso. Sense of surrendering downwards into the earth. And again, notice the weight of your hands. That little bit of 10% navel to the spine. Breathe in, belly rises upwards into the hands, rib cage expands outwards to the sides. Collarbones widen. Then exhale and feel everything soften inwards. Lift the arms, fingertips up towards the ceiling with your elbows straight to start. Lift the shoulders, backs of the shoulders off the mat. Keep your elbows straight and then drop the backs of the shoulders back down. 2 more times. Fingertips reach up. Don't bend the elbows. Drop the backs of the shoulders down. 1 more time. Fingertips lift, and it may feel like you're not doing a whole lot. Drop the backs of the shoulders down, but you're actually loosening up the muscles around the shoulder blades. Bend the elbows now, clasp the elbows, opposite hand to elbow. Keep the backs of the shoulders just slightly moving down towards the floor and start to take the arms overhead. The arms do not have to reach the floor. Pause wherever they naturally do without pushing. Now draw the points of the elbows towards the wall behind you and feel the length through the side body. Create space between the top of the pelvis and the lowest ribs. Keep that lengthening. Release the arms back down if they'll go a little bit lower. Now shift your awareness, belly. Imagine that you still have the weight of your hands on the belly. The navel draws back towards the spine. Breathing in, ribcage expands outwards to the sides and not upwards towards the ceiling. Top of your inhale, collarbones widen. And as you exhale, just feel the weight of the torso. Lower the arms down, keep them still chest height. Cross the elbows one on top of the other. Reach the fingertips towards the shoulder blades. Give yourself a little hug. Remember, if the knees or hips start to bug you, straighten the legs out or just bring the soles of the feet together. So the latter being the better option if you can. Then allow the backs of the shoulders to release down towards the floor, the knees to release down towards the floor, and let the elbows release down towards the chest. So they're moving in the direction of the navel. You're not lifting them up towards the ceiling. It's a little bit more of that relaxing kind of stretch. One more breath. Cross the right arm all the way over the chest. Stretch right fingertips towards the left wall. Bring the left hand underneath the right arm and stretch out through the shoulder. I've got a wall here, so my arm's not fully straight, but if you can get that elbow straight, then straighten out the arm. Then Garudasana Arms, cross one elbow on top of the other. Cross your forearms, if they will, and take the palms of the hands together. If this isn't an option, you can take the backs of the forearms and backs of the hands together. If that's not an option, then return to that self-hug. If you're in Garudasana Arms, eagle arms, press the lowest part of the elbows into each other. So eyes of the elbows squeezing inwards, points of the elbows squeezing inwards. And you can start to lift the arms up overhead, but keep the shoulders softening down away from the ears. One more breath. And release your arms down, uncross the elbows. Use your hands to assist drawing the knees in towards each other. Uncross your legs, bring the knees into the chest, and a very gentle rock from side to side. Bring your low back flat down towards the floor, so you're massaging the low back as well. And lower your feet to the floor. Walk the legs all the way forward. Stretch the arms up overhead. With your right hand, take your left wrist a little hinge to the right. We're not staying here. Come back through center. Left hand takes the right wrist. Hinge to your left. Back to center. Lower your arms down. Walk the heels in towards the hips. Cross your legs. Supta Sukhasana. Notice which shin is in front. Uncross and recross the legs. Unless you knew that I was going to do that and you already did that, then you would keep the crossing the same. Tight crossing of the legs, so walk the knees in towards each other. Once you come into that position, if you want to use one hand, draw the belly towards the spine, and you don't need any weight, hardly at all, 10% in that right hand. Draw the navel towards the spine. If you notice a big shift in your posture, then you know this is something you bring your awareness to again and again throughout the practice. Keep the belly drawing back, stretch the arms up, cross the elbows. Notice which hand is on top. Backs of the shoulders, and then switch it up. So you have the awkward feeling way again, unless you knew already I'd do that. Backs of the shoulders towards the floor. Start to take the arms up overhead. In slow motion, be mindful of the belly pressing up towards the ceiling. Keep the navel drawing back towards the spine and your low back moving towards the mat. If your back starts to really arch at any point, if the front ribs really press up towards the sky or the belly, then don't take the arms any further overhead. Just stay as you are. Pull the points of the elbows towards the wall behind you. Find that nice lengthening through the side body. Top of the pelvis away from the lowest rib. Soften the front ribs down and take your breath into the back ribs as you inhale. Then lower the arms to chest height. And cross the left arm over your chest with the right arm underneath. Left shoulder stretch as you straighten out the left elbow as much as you can. At the same time as the fingertips reach to the right, draw the shoulder to the left. Create a little bit of traction there for a deeper stretch. One more breath. And into your self hug, cross the elbows, the fingertips towards the shoulder blades. And here you're just softening, backs of the shoulders down and elbows in the direction of the belly. 3 deep breaths. Cross the elbows fully, Garudasana Arms. If your forearms cross them. If the palms or fingers come into the palm of the hand, squeeze those together. Otherwise, remain in that self hug or backs of the forearms together. Draw the elbows in towards each other. So the lowest part of the elbows squeezing in towards each other, the eyes of the elbows squeezing inwards towards each other. Slowly start to raise the arms up overhead any amount. Pause when you feel a stretch. If you've made some kind of face, back up the stretch until the face softens and hold there. Squeeze the inner elbows. So you're also strengthening the opposite muscles that you're stretching. Stretching the shoulders, you're strengthening the pectoral muscles. And finally, lower your arms down. Use your hands to help draw the knees together. Bring the legs into the chest. Pull the thighs in towards your torso. Send the tailbone forward. Lengthen out through the lower back. See if you can breathe the low back right into the mat. A gentle rock from side to side. Take your feet to the floor, keep your knees bent and side by side. Stretch the arms out, palms down. Push into the feet, shift your hips to the left, maybe about 3 inches, and drop the knees over to the right. Squeeze the inner knees together, squeeze the inner thighs together, and feel that this is a belly twisting pose. So the lower belly moves to the right, upper portion of the belly moves to the left. Keep softening the front ribs down, and you can take the gaze along that left arm. With every exhale, visualize the hand on the belly, guiding it back towards the spine, even in your twist. Lift the knees back up to center. Press into the feet. Shift your hips 3 inches to the right. Drop your knees out over to the left. Squeeze the inner knees and inner thighs together. Pull the breath downwards into the lower belly, into the low back, and you can bring the gaze along the right arm. And the knees come back up to center, press into your feet. Shift your hips slightly left, bring the right knee into the chest, extend your left leg out long. Tuck the elbows in, breathe in. And as you exhale, pull the knee towards your nose and the nose towards the knee. Soften the chin right down towards the chest. There's no strain in the neck. Torso lowers down. Bend the left knee in. Straighten the right leg out. Interlace your hands around the left knee. Elbows tuck and slide forward. Inhale. And exhale. Knee to the nose, nose to the knee. Chin drops down. Breathe into your back ribs. Press your back ribs into the mat. Release torso down. Draw the right knee into the chest. Both legs are in. Stretch your right arm overhead. Drop your knees out over to the right. Press into your left hand and lift up. Come right to all four. Cat-cow. Spread out your fingers. Either be on the tops of the feet or toes under. It doesn't matter which. As you inhale, drop the belly towards the floor. Take the gaze forward, not up. Exhale, navel draws tight to the spine. Press your hands forward on the mat. Inhale, arching. Exhale, round, tuck the tailbone. We'll add on, inhale. Exhale, slide back, child's pose. Hips reach towards the heels. Pause for a couple of breaths here. Pull the breath downwards into your low back. Exhale and feel the weight of the torso. One more time like that. Now moving with the breath, inhale forward. Arch the back. Exhale, round. And send the hips back. Inhale forward. Gaze forward, sitting bones lift. Exhale, round. Hips towards the heels. Inhale forward. Last time, arching. Exhale, round. Child's pose. Walk the hands as far forward as they will go. Take another inhale, come forward to all four. Lower all the way down to the belly. Tuck the elbows in tight to the ribs. Do a little modified push-up here. Come up onto the forearms, Sphinx pose. Press your forearms into the floor. Press your thumb and index finger into the floor. If you tend to have a sensitive low back, wider space between the feet is better, and hands a little bit further forward is better. If that's not an issue at all, walk the elbows in towards alignment under the shoulders. Drop the head down. Find a stretch through the back of the neck. Press the tops of all 10 toenails, baby toenails, into the floor. Inner hands ground down, index finger, inner thumb. Roll the right ear towards the shoulder. Chin to the chest, left ear to the shoulder. Chin to the chest. Take the gaze forward, turn your toes under, slide the hands under the shoulders. Keep your knees down, send the tailbone towards the heels, push up. Cat-cow, inhale, arching. Don't change the position of the feet or hands. Exhale, round. Send the hips back towards the heels. Inhale, forward. Tuck your elbows in, lower down. Point the toes, 10 toenails grounded. Inhale, lift from the crown. Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Torso lowers down, turn your toes under, knees grounded. Press into the hands, push up. Arch the back, inhale. Round the spine, exhale, child's pose. One more time, inhale, forward. Tuck the elbows in, navel to the spine. Exhale, push up. Inhale, 10 toenails rooted. Lift your heart center, lift from the crown. Exhale, release down, toes under, hands under the shoulders, knees grounded, push up. Inhale, arching. Exhale, round, child's pose. Hold here. Walk your hands out over to the right. You could take the left hand on top of the right one if you wanted to. Press both palms of the hands downwards into the floor. Drop the left ear towards the mat as you look to the right. Shift forward, cross wrist over wrist to move all the way over to the left. Send the hips back towards your right heel. You could take right hand on top of the left, pressing your left hand down. And feel that outer right shoulder softening towards the mat. Look to the left. Shift forward, walk your hands to center and back towards the knees until you come standing at the back of the mat, forward fold, knees bent. Take opposite hand to elbow, pull the points of the elbows towards the floor and look between the knees. Keep lengthening out through the back of the neck. Shift forward and back. A little rock from side to side. Keep your knees soft as you come through center and start to lift the forearms up towards the ceiling until you come about halfway. Lift your torso about halfway. So you probably don't have a mirror, or maybe you do, but if you have a mirror, use it. Visualize your spine parallel with the floor, but pull the front ribs back. Feel the weight of your hand on the belly, especially here. Pull the navel to the spine. Connect with your core. Press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Lift your elbow points to the sky. 10% of the hand on the belly, pressing it back. Hips forward, front ribs back. Inhale, lengthen through the side body, just as you did when you were lying down. Lowermost rib, top of the pelvis. Inhale. Hinge right, exhale. With your right hand, tug on the left elbow. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinge left. Keep the front ribs softening back. Tug on the right elbow. Inhale back to center. Pull the navel to the spine, a little bend in the knees. Exhale, halfway down, or imagining that you're halfway down, but lift the forearms up. See if you can draw the biceps behind the ears. Pull the points of the elbows forward. Another breath in. Exhale, fold all the way forward over the legs again. And straighten the legs. Release the arms, interlace your hands behind your back, and lift the arms up off the back. So taking the shoulders in the opposite direction now, which probably feels nice. Shift the arms a little from side to side, the shoulders being the most mobile joint. It's likely that you can get a bit more of a stretch here than you think that you can. Pull the knuckles of the hands towards the ceiling. Inhale, shoulders away from the ears. Then exhale, release the hands towards the floor beneath your head. Hands come to the floor, walk forward, downward facing dog. Reach your heels towards the mat, press your thighs back. Press the index finger and inner thumb inwards into the floor. Without changing anything, look at your hands. See if they're behaving in the same way, or does one hand walk further forward than the other? Does one hand rotate to the right or to the left more so than the other? Balance out the two. Then rotate the creases of the wrists to face forward and the index fingers to be parallel with each other. Drop your head towards the earth, press the palms forward on the mat, press your thighs back. Take 3 more deep breaths. Lift up high, balls of the feet. Look forward, find your way to the top of the mat. Once you get there, lift halfway up, lengthen the spine. Fold forward as you exhale. Make fists with your hands, curl your fists in towards the forearms. Press the tops of the hands down towards the earth. Relax the hands, take opposite hand to elbow, and now switch it up. Other hand is on the inside. Pull the points of the elbows towards the floor. Now ground down through the heels. Notice if you shift the weight into your toes, press your heels into the floor. A light bend in the knees. Start to lift your forearms up towards the ceiling, biceps moving in the direction of behind the ears. Lift your torso up parallel to the floor, or as much as you can imagine that it is. Feel the hand on the belly, pulling the belly back towards the spine. Feel the front ribs moving back as though absorbing into the torso. Drive down through the heels. Inhale, come up to standing. Lift the elbow points to the sky. Front ribs and belly back. Inhale. Lengthen that side body. Exhale, hinge left. Tug gently on the right arm. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinge right. Tug gently on the left elbow, left arm. Inhale back to center. And exhale, just release the arms down. Finally, give the shoulders a break, roll them out. Interlace your hands behind you. Tuck the interlaced hands towards your right hip. Then squeeze the elbows towards each other. If you're one who flares your ribs forward, as I am, pull them back. Navel to the spine. Squeeze the elbows together, work the upper back muscles, rhomboids. Not at the expense, however, of flaring the ribs or belly protruding. Those 2 keys come first. Drop the right ear to the shoulder and adjust the position of the head until you feel a stretch. That might be dropping chin to the chest and then towards the inner right shoulder, or maybe you get a stretch that you like simply by releasing the ear towards the shoulder. You don't have to change anything. Lower the arms down, take the awkward interlacing of your hands. Tuck the hands in towards your left hip, squeeze the elbows towards each other. Attention on the ribs and the belly. And take the left ear to the shoulder. Adjust the position of the head as you like. And release the arms down. Cross the arms in front. Give yourself a hug. Lift the elbows up parallel with the floor. If your fingertips come right against the shoulder blades, pull the shoulder blades away from each other. Turn the torso to the left. Tug on the right arm to come into a deeper twist. And then feel the abdominal twist as the belly wants to rotate more to the right. So back in the original position. Belly and hips moving more to the right, shoulders to the left. So if you just turn to the side, completely different sort of posture. And then bring your gaze to the right. Turn to face forward, uncross the arms and stretch them overhead. Inhale. Left hand, right wrist. Exhale, hinge left. Inhale, center. Right hand, left wrist. Exhale, hinge right. Inhale, center, self-hug. Cross the elbows. Take the awkward crossing. Turn to your right. Arms are approximately parallel with the floor. Squeeze the elbows together. Rotate your belly to the left. So belly and hips rotate left. Bring your gaze left. Unwind back to center. Stretch the arms up overhead. Inhale, press the palms together. Interlace your hands behind the back. Lift your heart center towards the ceiling. Reach the knuckles of the hands towards the floor. Belly for sure wants to protrude here, and it will naturally do, but see if you can drop the navel towards the spine gently and feel your abdominals engage. Another inhale, lift from the breastbone, lift from the collarbone, and as you exhale, come halfway down, parallel with the floor, arms float up. Take another breath in, crown of the head away from the tailbone, and exhale, fold over the legs. If your knees are bent, straighten the legs. Shift the arms gently from side to side, or maybe a little bit of a rotational movement. And lower your hands to the floor. Step the right leg back to a lunge position. Keep your knee off the mat. Rotate the palms to face each other. Come up onto the fingertips. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other and pull the outer left hip back. Reach the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Take the arms alongside of the body, thumbs point towards the floor, lift your baby fingers up towards the ceiling. Take the palms of the hands towards the floor, reach the fingertips towards the back wall, drop the baby fingers towards the earth. Imagine the tops of your hands are now parallel with the floor. And of course, you're working the legs here and your core to stay steady. Lift the arms up a little bit higher, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Then you'll windmill the right arm up overhead and spin to warrior B. Plant your right heel down, outstretch the arms. We'll add a little bit of flow, sort of release some of that stagnant energy that we've built. Drop your right hand down, turn your left palm up, inhale, reach for the sky, and exhale, slide the right hand towards the back of the knee. Key here is to let your hips come forward towards the front knee. Don't let that right hip hang back to the right. So that would create kind of a pinching in the lower back potentially. Let your hips slide left and reach, open up through the left rib cage. Inhale right back through center, left forearm to the thigh. Take the right arm up and along the plane of the cheek. Drive down through the left heel. Inhale back up, same thing, right hand down, left arm up and over. Come to center, left forearm to the thigh, right arm up and over, stretch through the fingertips. Last time, breathe in, right hand down, left arm up and over, keep the front knee bent, right hip sliding towards the top of the mat. Inhale, return just to warrior B. Take the palms of the hands to the heart center. Step the right foot in a little bit closer. Pivot onto the ball of the right foot, turn to face the short edge of the mat. So this requires a lot of skill, balance, focus. Step the right foot to meet the left. Tadasana. Lower the arms down, stretch them up overhead. Inhale. Bring your hands down through your heart center. Soften the knees. Exhale, torso flows forward over the thighs. Take an inhale, lift halfway up, elongate. Exhale and fold, pull the belly towards the spine. Take a big step back with that left leg. You're in a lunge position once again. Come up onto the fingertips, rotate the palms of the hands towards each other. Drop your outer left hip down. Squeeze your outer right hip back. Pull the belly towards the spine. So coming back to that core awareness again and again. Reach the crown of the head forward, away from the tailbone. Send the tailbone towards that back heel. Lift the arms up, baby fingers to the sky. Stretch the fingertips towards the back wall and lock the elbows, but only if you feel that in the triceps and not in the elbow joint. If it's in the elbow joint, then maybe you have hyper flexible joints or ligaments, and you don't want to overextend the arms. So feel that in the upper arm muscles. Lift the arms a little bit higher, baby fingers right up towards the sky. And then rotate the palms down. Keep the arms lifting up. Visualize tops of the hands parallel with the floor. So baby fingers will drop down a touch. Now we're coming into that windmill action of the arms. Stretch your left arm up overhead. Spin your left heel to the mat. Outstretch the arms. Pull the navel to the spine. Virabhadrasana B. You can already start to pull the left hip forward, leveling out the pelvis. Going through that little flow. Left hand down, right palm to the sky. Reach up, inhale, send the left hand down. Breathe out. So fan open your right rib cage. Squeeze your left hip forward more and more. Inhale up through center. Take the right forearm to the thigh. Spin the left arm along the plane of the cheek. Front ribs back. Navel to the spine. Inhale up through center. Drive down through the front heel. Left hand down. Right arm up. Then along the plane of the cheek. Inhale, center. Forearm to the thigh. Left arm up and over. Last time, rise up, inhale, left hand down, reach. And back up through center, warrior B. Take the palms together. Step the left foot in a touch. Start to focus your mind. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Turn to face the short edge of the mat. Step your left foot to meet the right. Legs straight, Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down through the chest, soften your knees, fold over the legs, crown of the head towards the earth. Halfway lift, breathe in. Hold on to the backs of the legs, exhale. Step your way back, downward facing dog. We'll leave the shoulders alone now. Pedal out the heels. Take your knees to the floor. Point your toes back. Child's pose. Ideally, the forehead rests on something. Ideally, the arms come alongside of the body. What you don't want, though, is head hanging in the air, because then you're using those neck muscles to keep your head up, to hold the head up against the pull of gravity. And as you know, if you've watched Jerry Maguire, the human head is approximately 10 pounds. That's fairly heavy for the neck. So you can prop forehead on a block. You could prop one fist on top of the other. You could use a pillow, anything really that you could rest the forehead into. Then once you've done that, you can allow the fronts of the shoulders to soften down. Pull the breath into the lower back as you inhale. Feel your shoulder blades separate. Fronts of the shoulders heavy. Exhale. Without changing anything, scan your body. Where are you holding tension? Where are the muscles clenching? For some, it's the hands kind of making fists, even in child's pose. For some, a clenching of the jaw, furrowing of the brow. For some, it's the belly or the lower back. It's amazing how much tension we can hold completely subconsciously. So I was taking my daily nap today, and I had my right arm overhead, was resting my right ear down towards the floor, and I thought I would do that little body scan just to see. As it turns out, I was hardly even resting down into the bed at all. I was kind of holding myself up. All of those muscles were engaged to hold up the weight of my torso. So then I consciously released down. It required a lot of mental effort, actually. Then right away, lifting up, muscles contract, consciously soften and relax down. It takes time to repattern those grooves in the brain. But now is always the perfect time to start. Send your hands under your shoulders, press into the palms to lift your head up, swing the legs over to the right, come to the top of the mat. Feet grounded, take one hand onto the belly, one hand onto the upper chest, sort of collarbones. Press the belly back towards the spine, press the hand into the chest, feel your torso round. So if you sit upright with a tall spine, there's a natural curve in the lower back. Gently press the hand to the spine, upper hand into the chest. Feel that arch in the lower back disappear and the spine round. This is the position that you want as you lower. Arms outstretched. Don't lose that position. Keep dropping the navel to the spine. Send the tailbone towards the heels. Lower down as slowly as you can. I'll let you know when I've come all the way down. Only then can you come all the way down. Just teasing, of course, but maybe you pause here, for example. Take a hand to the belly, hand to the chest, press them back. You've still got that position. Keep the position. Outstretch the arms. Send the tailbone forward. Lower down. Now, just for fun, one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Switch it up so you've got the awkward feeling way. Press back. Keep that position. Arms outstretched. Let me know if you're not feeling anything in the abdominals at this point. And curl all the way down. Take the right knee in. Extend your left leg out long. Pull the knee in towards the chest. Tuck your elbows in. Slide them forward. Stay long through the neck. Reach your right arm out to the side. Use your left hand to guide the knee to the left into a spinal twist. Feel the rotation of the belly. Belly rotating towards the ceiling, but the lowermost abdomen rotating left. Don't pay too much attention to the hand on the knee or how far down the knee goes. Come back through center. Press into your right foot, shift your hips slightly left. Draw the left knee in, straighten the right leg out. Pull the thigh in towards your torso. Tuck the elbows in, send them forward. Feel that length through the sides of the neck. And come into your spinal twist to the right. Outstretch the left arm. Feel the abdominal portion of this movement. The very lowest part of the belly moving to the right. But the more mid and upper portion of the belly rotating towards the ceiling. Come back through center. Press into the left foot, shift the hips slightly right, walk your left foot forward. Align yourself as best you can on the mat with crown of the head over the navel. Navel align with the center of the pelvis, but then take the feet fairly wide apart. Maybe if we called this starfish pose instead of shavasana or corpse pose, you would take the arms in a little bit wider of a position, further away from the torso. Rotate the palms still towards the ceiling and feel that opening across the chest. If you want more opening across the front of the shoulders and chest, cactus or goalpost position with the arms where the elbows are bent. Visualize hand at the belly, other hand upper chest, and just allow the weight of each, no pushing at all, not even that 10%, just allow the weight of the hands, the natural weight, to draw the torso towards the earth. Close down the eyes. Take a couple of breaths here. Focused only on relaxing completely. Now, without changing a single thing, scan the body, tips of the toes to the crown of the head. Look for areas of tension look for holding patterns. Notice where you're sort of holding the body up away from the floor, and drop the weight of the body down. Allow the brain to recede away from the forehead. Allow the eyes to sink deep into their sockets. Unhinge the jaw. Unclench the teeth. Allow the tongue to rest in behind the lower teeth. Take a full breath in. Draw the breath downwards towards the tips of the toes. And a full exhale to complete emptiness. Same thing one more time. Out through the mouth. Let's go for one more time. Breathe in through the nose, down to the tips of the toes, and out through the mouth, letting go completely. Now take your awareness to your breath. Again, breathing deeply. Awaken the body, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles. Inhale through the nose, extend the arms overhead, lengthen the spine, point the toes. And through the mouth, exhale. Hug the knees to the chest. Wrap the arms around the legs, rock and roll from side to side. Reach the right arm overhead, rock onto your right side of the body, fetal position. Take 2 breaths here. Press into your left hand to lift yourself up. Eyes closed, palms together at the heart center. We'll seal the practice in unity with the sound of Om. A deep breath in. Namaste.